We're here. Good morning. Good Monday morning. We appreciate you being here.
Good Monday morning.
It is Monday morning. It's not as bright and sunshiny out as I had expected. As a matter of fact, it was a little chilly last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was in the 60s. Yeah.
It said it was going to be 57. That's what
The low was overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good thing I was indoors.
It felt good. I like a little cool weather.
Yeah, I like a little cool weather in March. It's supposed to be hot.
No.
It's supposed to be getting hot. Hot. Although the AC did kick on yesterday a couple times.
Yeah.
Because
That's Florida life.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, this is a season where you don't have to run the AC. What season is that?
Maybe January. Maybe.
Maybe for
Here
like a
in
week in
Tampa.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, we're here. And this is part 2 of a thing that we started last week about career and marriage because of an incident that we sort of witnessed vicariously through somebody else, and it sort of sparked Debbie into thinking about people deciding careers, or what happens when people are in the middle of careers or career changes, and how it affects your relationship.
It can be a big factor in your relationship. If one person's career is taking off and the other one isn't, or if the one person feels like they haven't had a chance to work on their career, and ultimately, if it's possible, you should talk about these things before you get into a committed relationship with someone.
Yeah, if it's possible, really talk about these things, or and even like we talked about last week. If you go to our YouTube channel and you look at last week's podcast, the idea is that even if things change, at least you get used to talking about it. You get used. The subject's already been broached about careers. It isn't like, where's this coming from? As opposed to, we talk about this all the time. We've talked about this since the beginning. That and talk about that, or if you talk about it earlier, that things might change. What we find opportunities along our path that we never thought were there, that we could have never planned.
And you have to sit down together, and discuss it if you can, and discuss what where are we going now? What's
Are we moving to Jackson? Are we moving to Jacksonville?
Yeah. Or in the very beginning, are we moving to Tampa? Because our relationship started in Tallahassee. And, we could have stayed there and, looked for career. That could have been a whole different life.
Well, yeah, and at the time, I could have every bit as easily moved back to Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. That could have happened. Certainly, and that would have been different. Who knows what that would have been like? But that's the deal. And again, but opportunities even in our lives have presented themselves along the way where you thought it was going to go this way, and then something popped up, and you went, that may be better. Let me explore that.
And when you're younger, you can do that. You can quit a job and go start something else. And, this opportunity has come up. Let's try this and let's do that. And fortunately, we have been able to work that out in our marriage.
We survived all the
twists and turns and decisions that we both made in order to have the life that we wanted.
Yeah, and I think it was okay because we were always good about, we have to do what makes you happy. You have to do, and neither one of us decided to be a mime and work on the street. Honey, I'm going to be a mime. I'm being called to be a mime. I'm going to quit my job with benefits and health care and be a mime. Are you going to work for a circus? No, I'm going to be a mime.
Just the street.
The universe will provide. That hasn't happened. So.
And that brings me to with the signs of non-supportive of a non-supportive spouse or partner in your relationship. The first sign is they bail when times get tough.
And unfortunately, times will get tough. Your life is not a Hallmark movie. It is not. Things will get tough and things will get sticky. And some things that you will try will not work. Or not work as quickly as you thought they'd work. Or they won't work as well as you thought they'd work. Or they may not work at all. It may be a nightmare, disaster. And things will get tough. And things will get scary.
You may not, when you're just starting out in some careers, you may not have a weekly paycheck. You don't get money. Sometimes you got to put stuff in, you got to put the work in before you see a financial gain in it.
And if you work in sales, you may work on commission and
some weeks it's
and some days yes, we eat meat. And other weeks is like
peanut butter and jelly.
That's exactly right. Until you build up your clientele and you build up your skills. So you know what, there may be potential there, but when you're starting, it can be a little scarce. So, and you got to be ready for those times that are going to be difficult. You know, our friend Alex at church talked about the other week the difference between being prepared and being ready. You think you're prepared, but that's not the whole thing. Are you ready for the tough times? Can you survive them? That's really the deal. I thought that was really good. I've used that in my head a lot recently. Thank you, Alex. Because that's really the deal. I mean, because it's gonna get hard.
Yeah.
Can you stick in there?
That's life. Life is hard. That's why, and I might get back feedback on this. That is why your kids need to tough it out. If they have a bully or somebody picking on them or something, they need to learn how to deal with that. You can't just take them out of that school and take them away from a situation. You need to teach them how to stand up and be bold and be, do what they have to do, because that's going to come in life. That's life.
Deal with the tough times and deal with the failures. Let them, sometimes when they're in a safe environment, it's okay to let them fail. It's okay if they're still getting fed every night and living indoors, for them not to make the dance team, for them not to make the baseball team, not be good enough.
They need to learn.
And
you don't get the job every time.
No, and it's perfectly okay, because when they're kids, they're really in an environment where they are going to eat and they are going to live indoors, but it's okay for them to feel that disappointment.
And they should have a strong parental guidance that can build their confidence back up and let them know, it's going to be better. It's going to get better.
It's okay. You don't get everything we don't get everything we want. But if you try sometime, you just might find
you get what you need.
And we won't be taking a copyright hit on that. We won't be taking a copyright hit on that.
Another sign that your significant other may not be supported is they're dismissive, not willing to listen to your problems and issues from work. So say you've had a rough day at work and you get home and you really want to, you need somebody to just talk to. And the thing with men is that men try to solve those issues, but sometimes you just need to talk about it. You just need to say, well, this happened with this person, and then this customer did this, and he said that, and other stuff like that. And they may just be disinterested, and they're sitting there, but they're like, oh, what? What'd you say?
And that's a really and guys, it's a super delicate balance, because especially when you get as old as I do and as smart as I am, as evolved as I am, that she's not looking for an explanation. She's not looking for a fix. Now, how do you remain engaged in a situation where, first of all, you're not going to have an opinion and you're not going to have a solution? How do you stay engaged in that? How do you stay engaged in that conversation? It's tough to stay engaged in a conversation where you really don't have any part. You really don't have a part of that conversation. You're just, and you don't know any, and other than your spouse, you really don't know any of the people who are participants.
But you just give some feedback, let them know that you're listening.
That's what you said. I am listening.
Okay.
But how can I give you feedback and I'm listening if I can't interject anything to really it's a tightrope walk. It's a minefield kind of thing. But it's important to gain. It's important, I think, to gain that skill for sure. That we try to figure out that this is obviously important, and it's obvious that you pay attention. It's obvious that and I think the way to do it is to remember the conversation, and that way, when it comes up later, you can say, "Didn't this happen?" But isn't that the person who did blah blah blah? And that will prove to them that you were paying attention.
It does. He does that very well.
I know how. I'm telling you, I know how. And I'm telling you guys, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And it's hard, but it's tough because you want to go, well, here's what you ought to do, little lady. That's what I tell them. I'll tell them. But that's not what they want. They want you to listen, and you prove that you listened by remembering.
And ladies, you have to listen to them and listen to what their issues are and I think women do the listening better because we know you don't want us to solve it, but
I can solve it on my own. Which is why a lot of guys don't say anything. You come home and go.
A lot of times they don't talk about it.
I hardly ever talk about unless it's really outrageously stupid stuff, and I hardly ever talk about my students unless one of them do something really cool. The people in the place is like, leave that over there. Nothing either of us could do about it because if I could fix it, I would have fixed it.
But if your significant other always finds a way not to listen, well, I gotta go, I gotta do this and whatever like that. You know, you both get home and he's gotta go, and she's gotta go do this and blah 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 blah. Well, I'm trying to take care of the kids. I don't have time right now, or something. I'm sorry, but if that continues to happen, because there are times when you just don't have time, but if it continues to happen and they are just not interested in your career path or what you're doing or whatever until it's something that's going to negatively affect them, then they may not be supported.
They might be as supported as they need to be for sure. So the idea is that we need to pay attention. We need to pay attention to what's going on in our spouse's day to the point that they need us to. Yes, because we may not understand all the jot and tittle of it, because some of the things that Debbie talks about, when in her job, but most of it, especially the inside baseball stuff, I don't know. Okay, I don't know about that system. That I don't have any idea. And I'm not going to, and I'm not ever going to, because I don't work there, and have no plans on working there and working with those systems or working with those people. So. But the idea is that if it affects your spouse in a way that when they get home and they need to talk about it, then your job is to help them through that. And if your job is to help them through that by just listening,
be there
and encouraging them, it's going to be okay. You'll work it out. You're smart. You know how to do this.
Because sometimes all you have is each other to go through these issues and times and stuff like that. You may not have maybe the close friend is the one at work that
That's a pain.
that you can't talk to them. So,
and it may not be appropriate to talk to coworkers about such things.
Yes. Because then it causes negativity in the workplace and strife and
especially if you're in a leadership sort of situation.
Yes.
It may not simply be appropriate to talk to them about what's going on with your superiors, especially to people that you're in charge of. So the spouse may be the only person. You may be the default person. It's funny where Deb works. I have gotten over time to know some of the other spouses, the other husbands, and we feel like, and almost everybody feels the same way. We feel like we work there too.
Yes.
We feel like
in certain levels of the job that I've been in, he's felt the same amount of stress. It may have, my stress level may have been because of some of your illness.
You know what the cause of my illness was? Pork chops. wonderfully delicious pork chops. Why that? And pork chops, I ain't mad at you. Even with all this, I ain't mad at you.
So, another point is they leave you hanging for things like work events and family functions that are for work. They never want to go, never have time, never want to hear you even talk about what happened at the event. Uh, Luckily, I've been blessed that my husband loved doing the community activities and all the things that I was into with a previous job, and going to the parties and the outings and different things like that. He was always very supportive.
I think that the idea is that sometimes I have been Mr. Debbie because that in certain times was an appropriate role to be supportive of Debbie. It would be ridiculous and outrageous for Debbie to have to attend like a work/social gathering that you're supposed to have a +1 without me, because that would have actually put her in sort of a weird place. People were wondering why isn't her husband here? Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? It was just easier for me to be there because I can be Mr. Debbie. I don't have to be. I know it seems, and people don't believe this until they see it in action, that I don't have to be the one up front. I'm not even up front where we're sitting. I'm sitting a little far back. I don't have to be the one up front. I don't have to be the one that shines, because in that environment, it's Debbie that's shining in that environment. She's the reason why we're there. And I'm pretty good about it. And I think that's a skill, guys, that you have to learn. And you go, and yes, you don't know anybody there, and that's okay. The only person you know there is your wife. That's okay. You're there to show support. You're there to do what you promised to do in the vows. That's what you're there to do. So go ahead and get good at it, and smile and be friendly and get to know people, and I'll tell you what, it'll help you later when the stuff that we were just talking about, because now you'll have some context.
Yes.
You have some context of what those.
You can talk.
Yeah. So now you understand. Now you understand some of the players a little bit better, and now you get it. So yeah, that kind of stuff do, for sure. Don't go, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to his work function. There's going to be a bunch of his work people there talking about work. Yes. Go anyway.
Put on a smiling face and go.
Just go.
And when you were more active in your job, you really don't want to hang around with people.
I leave and come home. And they have parties and they have stuff, and I go, I'm going home. Peace.
He's one of those people.
I'm one of those people.
One of those work people.
You like me at work, but you don't ever see me outside of there. Ever, unless you see me on the highway coming home.
But we did the Disney thing together years and years ago.
We did go to Epcot and sang at the Human Christmas Tree or whatever that was, and that was cool. But no, I don't do a lot anymore because I'm sort of old and crotchety at work. Not really, but we don't do as much either. So
yeah.
And there are a bunch of young people who it's their time to go do all that stuff.
And that's the way I've been now.
A bunch of
let the
young
people do it.
Y'all go
out there in the hot sun on Saturdays doing the events and all that stuff.
It was great.
It was fun.
Now it's your turn.
Now it's your turn.
Yep.
I'll give you pointers. I'll
like
help
marching
you
band
understand it.
I say all the time, marching band is a sport for young people. Because I used to do a lot of that. I used to write halftime shows and teach them and help a couple of local schools.
Yeah. I love that part of school.
You used to do all that stuff.
Go to the band events and the band practices and the contests. I like that.
I got tired.
That was fun.
Oh, I'm sure. It was fun. I thought it was fun too. Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. Because people ask, and I always go, no, I've retired from that. That's a sport for young people because it gets hot out there.
Yes, it does.
And you can't scream at kids like we used to scream at kids anymore. So
it's not fun.
I love screaming at kids. That was so much fun.
Another point is they don't offer encouragement. If you need support and understanding, if they're going through something and um, they're offering support and like if you're asking for support and you're not just complaining, there's a difference. So at times when I ask for support and help on writing stuff and doing things and all of this, when I don't understand programs, because he's a computer guy, computer tech,
Kind of, sort of.
and
Not
so
really anymore.
and I have had the desire to have that a YouTube channel,
So we had a
and
YouTube channel.
so
So here we are.
here we are.
Ta-da!
People may not know that, but I used to be an actress in my little years. And when I was a kid, they all thought I was going to be an actress because I was the youngest in the family, and I used to put on a show every night. They didn't have to watch TV. They
Yeah.
watched Debbie.
Nobody had any idea what I was going to do because I kept them guessing.
So I get to do what I want to do, and I can act and do stuff and talk and be somebody who I've never been throughout my life. And it's the true me.
So I say a lot. So what? So what? And guys, you know this phrase. So what do you want me to do?
So he
Please-
helps me with
Please have an answer
with
for
doing
us.
things on YouTube
And I work the YouTube channel and all the boring stuff, all the SEO, all the tagging, all the boring stuff I get to do. Yay!
so here's a plug. Go over to our YouTube channel.
And
We do
subscribe.
more than just this Will and Deb talking.
Yeah, there's if you guys do meal prep, the whole meal prep process from beginning to the end that Debbie does is on YouTube right now. It will never be on Facebook. Only the link. The video will never be on Facebook. Ever. Because it's on my computer and I'll never put it on Facebook. Ever. For any reason. No matter how much you beg, the answer will be
It
no.
won't be there.
No. YouTube is not a hard thing to do. And you don't have to sign up for YouTube. By the way, we were talking about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to sign up. All you have to do is go there, and you can watch videos, and you can search for Real Talk with Deb and Will, or you can search for Debbie Lawson, and there it'll be, and you'll see all the videos. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to tell them anything about you. So don't think that they'll be looking in your computer, looking at you, because they won't be.
No,
Because
it's just watching videos.
nobody wants to look at you.
Now back to the topic. But
Just
he's
wanted to
very encouraging on my new career path.
Well, because it's good. It's good, and it's good for Debbie, and she likes it, and go do it. And I think it's because you've always encouraged me, because especially early when I was,
With your blog talk.
when we moved 3 times in 18 months with a brand new baby and a fairly brand new marriage. When I thought that this opportunity was going to be a better opportunity, well, let's do it. Let's move to a city that we've never been.
So
Let's live there amongst the Air Force
offer
people.
encouragement, even if you think that this is crazy.
And it
Offer
was.
encouragement to your spouse or significant other. Encourage them along the path, because a lot of times giving them encouragement in that will help them to be better at it. Because if you don't say anything, say, that you did a good job on that, babe, something like that, encouraging them or whatever like that, they may feel like, because if you don't encourage them, who will? You're there for everything. So you've got to encourage your spouse.
You do. You have to cheer them on. If you're not their number one cheerleader, who's going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else will be, and it won't work out for you. Somebody else will cheer them
Because
on.
if his coworker or her coworker, whoever they're interested in, is encouraging them more than you are, and they're there when they need to talk or whatever like that, that's not a good thing.
Humans will aim themselves towards pleasure and aim themselves away from pain. So that's it. So that's the deal. So you better be the number one cheerleader around. You better have the pennant. Woo! Team Debbie all the time. You better. But somebody else will.
Another sign is they're not happy for your success. So, and we were watching, what was that? This Is Us, when they were talking, and she was thinking he doesn't want her to dance because he wants to ask her to stay at home with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't think that Randall was being that way.
No, I think that was a lot of the circumstance.
But we are fans of This Is Us.
Have you seen that?
And it had
Written
an
really
issue like this discussion on there. And it's a very interesting show. I love that show.
And they had just spent a whole storyline of when Randall was running for city council, and she stopped being supportive too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. So be happy for their success, because you know what? Their success is your success.
There you go.
If they're successful in their career,
bada boom, bada bing.
That's your career too. And that's the whole thing with this. Career and marriage, his career is my career. My career is his career.
Bada boom, bada bing.
So why aren't you supporting them? Because it benefits you and your kids and everybody in the household.
Yeah. If we are successful together and individually, then the marriage, the family is successful. So, yeah. So you're right.
It's a win-win for everybody.
So it isn't like, well, that's her career and that's my career. No, it isn't. Everybody's involved.
Yes.
This whole family thing is a group project. It's a group project. And it's a group project where everybody wins.
Be a part of the team.
Yay! You said you didn't want to be by yourself anymore, that you wanted to be on a team, so go ahead and do that.
And this last one that we already talked about it, is the follow-up. They may not even never follow up. They may not be supportive if they don't follow up on your issues. And like he was saying, if you're listening, when they come back around about that conversation, that whatever happened at work 2 weeks ago, you will remember, oh, didn't he do that last time? And blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
blah.
You had that thing. Did you guys have that meeting you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Because that will show that you were paying attention and that you are interested. You remember when you said that you had that thing to do, that class to go to? How'd that work out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How was your meeting this morning that you went to? How was your round table?
Mm-hmm.
We have a round table here. We need to get a sturdier round table. That way, it doesn't look like we're having an earthquake when we do that.
Because I'm so dramatic.
Yeah, but
remember?
You're causing
the earth to shake.
The thing that looked like San Francisco.
We don't live in San Francisco.
Why? Because San Francisco sucks. All of California.
It's a fun place to visit, but not
from an airplane. Go, oh look, there's San Francisco. Keep riding. Anyway, yeah, that's my little San Fran hate. But the idea is right. It's a follow up. Be supportive. When you know that it was an issue, ask about it later, because that's one of those things that will let your spouse know that you are concerned, you are supportive, that you are listening.
You're paying attention.
Guys, that you paid attention, although there wasn't anything you could do or say. But you were paying attention, that you were focused, and that's a really important skill to get. It is super important to get, because what I'm finding in my older age, as I mature, I see I'm not as
seasoned,
and I am not as scared of the word old as a lot of people. I'm just not. The only thing that you don't want to eat, that you want to have old, is milk. You don't want old milk. That you don't. But there's a bunch of things you want old. You want old scotch. Okay? You want an old violin.
Wine.
You want an old you want old wine, and you can't age it in the bottle, so keeping it in the refrigerator for 5 years and drinking it is a mistake. Don't do that.
No.
Yeah, otherwise you just drink some vinegar. And so I'm not scared of the word old, but what I've learned is that women do need, and guys, I'm going to say, they need more encouragement than you. You've been a person who's not, guys, you've been a person who's not needed that much encouragement. Although you probably have always gotten it. You've gotten it from dads, you've gotten it from coaches and the like, but you don't feel like you needed it. Especially if you're about my age and I'm 58. We don't feel like we.
You're 58?
Yeah, I know. Kind of. Not really. But
I'm not 58.
I am 58 though. Every day of it. Wait. Okay. But the idea is that we think that we don't think that we needed a lot of encouragement. So, and now and now as 58 years old, we walk around really not being that encouraging to people because we think that people should be able to encourage themselves. However, I think that women, especially in women now who have careers or who are working outside the home, maybe your mom, because she didn't work outside the home, didn't seem like she needed the same kind of encouragement that now your wife does or your daughter does or your niece or whatever the other women in your life do. Because all this is really societally new to them. So they may need more, I think they need more encouragement.
Because women are in the workforce more now
than they were when we were kids. Mom may have worked. My mom worked. But you know what? I hardly ever remember that was such a big deal to us. Because she still, just like Debbie had, through the time that we were raising our kid, had so many responsibilities in the home that it just didn't seem like the same thing. It seemed like my mom wasn't a stay-at-home mom. I was a latchkey kid before there was such a term, but I think that women need, especially now where they are in the workforce, probably need more encouragement than guys do.
Because they're doing more of work like a male. I mean, they're in charge of things. They have more stress. I mean, our moms were domestic workers.
Or they worked in
it was physically.
Or they worked in the secretarial pool.
Yes.
They were hardly in management. They worked in the secretarial pool. They did things like data entry. A lot of entry level stuff because they knew that they were going to get out because they were going to have kids and go back home for 6 months or 8 months or a year. So there wasn't a lot of climbing the ladder and there wasn't a lot of that corporate stress
that we women have now.
And I think
and we get the same amount of illness that men, the heart attacks and all that stuff. And
you come a long way, baby.
We got it all.
Great. When you didn't used to get heart attacks, now you do. Yes, indeed. Now you get anxiety and you get all the crap, the crap that comes with corporate world accomplishment. Yay. Yeah, I hope you're happy. Thank you, Gloria Steinem. In any case, but women need encouragement, and maybe more. It's like maybe your daughter needs more encouragement than your son. Maybe that's probably true. Your son needs encouragement, but different encouragement at different times. And your spouse and guys, your spouse needs encouragement too. So sometimes you have to say, and I say this a lot, and sometimes I don't think you hear me. I just go, I trust you. Of course you can do it. You're smart. You work it out. Of course you can. Good. Do it. Good. So anyway, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because it's time for you to go to work or something?
Yeah.
You can do it.
All right. Yes, I have to go to work today and work a later shift. But
yeah, I'm gonna work later on today.
Work doesn't stress me like it used to. So.
I don't know. Now that I'm out of the school system, I don't have jobs my job doesn't stress me at all.
This is my job.
I do live the life of Riley in the sense that I don't have anything all day that I don't want to do. I don't do anything all week, all day that I don't want to do.
Pretty much same here. So.
I like everything I do. I don't have any part of my day where I go, oh God, I hate this. No more lunch duty. Yay! God bless. I had a principal who gave me lunch duty because he knew I hated it. Rob Frost gave me lunch duty because he knew I hated it.
Wow.
Yeah. Made sure.
Rest his soul.
Give Lawson lunch duty.
It's time to get out of here, folks. But please go over to YouTube.
YouTube channel.
And watch some of the Debbie vlogs. Like, comment, subscribe.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
We
it.
love you.
Do it. Okay, so until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourselves.